allied technologies. So today in this video, we will be discussing about the basic structure of C program. What is the C program, or what is the need of having a structure for the C program? These might be the questions of yours. Yes. In order to write a program, we have to follow some certain rules of format. Different programming languages has got its own basic structure that need to be followed up in order to write a program. So now let us look at the basic structure of C programs, how it looks like. So guys, here is the structure of C program. The first section is the documentation section, the second one link section, third one it is a definition section, the fourth one is a global declaration, the fifth one is a main section, the last one is a sub-program section. So coming to the first one, this is a documentation. Here it includes all the informations or the descriptions of the program. For example, if you are going to write a program for addition of two numbers, then for that particular program we need to give some description telling that program to write or program for addition of two numbers. This is what the description that you are giving to the computer or that you are giving to your program in order to make people to easily understand what is the program all about. And this documentation section is completely ignored by your compiler. How the compiler will ignore this documentation section is like by having a forward slash like this. This forward slash is called a single comment. So whenever you put this single forward slash, it will tell your compiler to ignore this line. But this documentation section is not that mandatory that you have to write it in every program. But it is a very good habit to follow up. And when you have more number of lines, for example, if I am writing a program for addition of two numbers and I have to tell the user that I have written the program and also to follow a particular date. So I have three lines of statements, that is author name, the date or the time date when I have written this program, and also the description of this program, that telling that program of addition of two numbers. When these three statements have to be included in this documentation section, then we are going to follow a multiple line comment, that is forward slash asterisk, and write my name, ABC, date, and also the description of the program, that is addition of two numbers, and here I'm closing this. So this is what the documentation section is all about. So the second section is the link section. This link section includes all the header files. We have many header files like hash include stdio.h and hash include conio.h. This hash is a preprocessor, and this stdio.h is a standard input output header file. .h is nothing but the header file, and this conio.h is nothing but a console header file. Why? These are the pre-built functions or pre-built libraries we can tell. For example, while writing a program, we will perform some input and output operation, that is printf and scanf. So what does your printf do? It will print the output. What does the scanf do? It will give the inputs. So what happens is, if you don't use this stdio.h, your printf and scanf will definitely not work, because your printf and scanf is connected to this stdio.h. Because as I told you, that computer will definitely not understand your printf and scanf. So in order to make your computer understand, some programs have been stored in this predefined libraries, that is stdio.h. Whenever you use this statement and give printf and scanf, it will definitely work. If not, in case if you don't ignore this statement and write the printf and scanf, that will definitely not work. And you also have this conio.h, which is a console header file. The third section is the definition section. This definition section includes all the logical constants. What is this logical constants? For an example, if you want to execute or if you want to have the pi value 10 times in your program, so what you have to do manually, you have to write, you have to write the lines of code 10 times, which will be a huge process. So in order to avoid this factor, we will be using the definition section. Here, hash define pi 3.142. This statement reduces the complexity factor. For an example, as I told you, like whenever if you want to call the pi value 10 times in the program, you can avoid it by using this define pi 3.142. Like what happens is, whenever inside the program, inside the main function or inside the subprograms, whenever you want to call the value of pi, instead of writing pi is equal to 1.3.142, you can just call this function like pi, that is pi value, and whenever you call this, automatically it will get calculated, the value get calculated from here. This is how this definition section works. And coming to the next section is the global declaration. What is this global declaration? We have two types of variables. One is local variables and the global variables. Local variables is not a thing that we declare within a function, something that is declared within a function. This global declaration is something that we declare before the main function. So, like whenever you want to repeat the same process again and again, the variable value that is declared before the main function can fetch the values and give you out the result. So that is why we use this global declaration. And the next one is a main function. This main function is one of the very important function. Like whenever you start compiling the program, your compiler control will first go to the main function, this main section, and then it will execute the rest. So this is the main section. Main section we have two parts. The first one is declaration part, and the executable part. So what is this declaration part and what is this executable part? This declaration part is nothing but we declare something, like we declare some variables, that is called the declaration part. Executable part is like we are executing some logical operations, like that if you want to perform some addition operation, we will declare the values int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20 and all. So finally we want to execute the program, or this is called the executable part. So in order to execute the program, we have to perform the operation. That is, if you give only sum, your program or your compiler will definitely not understand. So a sum is equal to a plus b. When you give like this, by using this logical thing, your computer will execute something. That is called the executable part. And the last part is subprogram section. So in the program, we have a main section and we can have many subprogram sections. Like for example, if you want to perform the arithmetic operation, or if you want to write a program on the arithmetic operations performing addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, you can have one main function and four subfunctions. One for performing addition, second one for subtraction, third one subprogram for multiplication, fourth subprogram for division, and the last one is a main function which is used to give you out the result. So this is the subprogram. So guys, we just got to know the structure of C program. Now with a small programming example, let us differentiate between the sections. So the first section, that is a program to print hello world. This statement is giving some description. It is adding some description to the program. So this section becomes a documentation section. Is this documentation section compiled by the compiler? Definitely no. I have commented this. Since I have commented this statement, this line or the statement will be completely ignored by the compiler. So the second section is a link section. As we know that link section includes all the header files, that is stdio.h, that is standard input output.h, and the console header files and all. So this is the link section, and this stdio.h, it controls the input output statements, and this conio.h is a console header file which controls the getch, where this getch will control the output screen. Yeah. Now this void main is a main function. This void main is a main function, and this printf is printing something that is hello world, which is an executable statement. As I told you, in main section we have two parts. One is a declaration part and the second one is an executable part. Here we have used only the executable part but ignore the declaration part. It depends on the program, like how you write and all. It is not mandatory that you have to include all the sections in a program. See, for an example, here I can even ignore this document state section. Nothing will happen if we ignore this documentation section. And this link section is mandatory that we have to write, and this main section is also mandatory. Inside that main section, I told you we have two parts. One is declaration part and another one is executable part, where executable part is important, whereas declaration part can be ignored. It depends on the program, like which program you are writing and how your program you are designing. It depends on the program and you have to configure this structure. Yeah, this is what about the programming and the structure of program of C programming language. I hope you guys